Number 13 just sounds kind of spooky, and it's spooky enough that some believe that the superstition is why, except for one small spot, there is no 13th Street in Joplin. But it all depends on who you ask. KOAM's Chris Warner asked a few people and has more.
This is 13th Street in Joplin. It's the only stretch of 13th which runs from Rangeline east to the Duquesne city limit, which is about 0.2 of a mile. The remaining miles of what's supposed to be 13th Street has two names. But why? Is it superstition? Well, Convention and Visitors Bureau Director Patrick Tuttle thinks so.
Well, we have both Marquardt and Jung Boulevard, both are what 13th Street was. And, the original plots has it as 13th Street, but I think it has to do more with superstition probably. And as people developed those neighborhoods, those subdivisions, people wouldn't live on 13th Street, so they made the change.
Now, 13 has a long history of being a negative number. For example, the gallows often have 13 steps because it's the right height for a proper hanging execution. Many tall buildings don't have 13th floors. And then there's Plato's Closet in Joplin. Their address? 1313 Rangeline, and they sit on the corner of 13th and Rangeline.
We get very superstitious, and we definitely take knowledge to the 13s on our building. And we used to be a hospital too, so we do hear some weird creaks and stuff, so it just adds to the excitement of this time of year.
So does 13th Street carry those names for superstitious reasons, or is there a more logical explanation? MSSU's community historian Brad Belk says it's hard to say since we weren't in the meetings that picked those names for that street. However, he does know what, or rather who, those streets are named for.
August Jung was really one of the founding fathers of our community. With this bread company, he supplied bread to the local citizens and became a very wealthy man.
Now that name is also tied to Jung Stadium and the old Jung Bakery. As for Marquardt, that would be William Marquardt.
Well, strangely enough, Marquardt also was in the bread baking business. They were somewhat competitors. He had a different factory, obviously.
Belk says Marquardt won the Citizen Award from the Chamber of Commerce in 1968, and East 13th Street was subsequently named for him. So superstition or logical reason? It all depends on who you ask. In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
And 13 is a baker's dozen. There are 13th streets in a number of area communities, including Webb City, Carthage, and Pittsburgh.